What's going on? It's showtime. It's Monday. All right. Coffee's ready. Everything's here. Good. Let's do it. The cat's sitting in her warm fall winter spot over the heater. Oh. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Monday. It's October 27th. That's right. Almost November 2020. My name's Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. That's very warm. Well, I hope you had a fantastic weekend. I did. What did I do? A lot and nothing all at the same time. I allowed myself to relax. There was moments on Saturday where I just kind of sat on the couch and watched a movie. What did I watch? There was something I watched. I don't even remember what it was. Oh, that's what it was. No, I already talked about that one. That was the Idris Elba movie. I don't remember. I don't remember what I watched. Doesn't matter. I was outside. I walked. I went to the gym. I went to Costco. I cooked food. I played with Legos. That was a gift. Not that I'm too cool to buy Legos. Legos are great. Did stuff with plants. Did general chores out. I did a lot. And it was good stuff. It was a good weekend. Today, got a few calls. Today should be the final tooth day, so knock on wood. This thing is going away today. We'll get the permanent one. Yikes. Oh, too funny. Had ice cream. Good morning, Stacy. Frank says, I've got a fever, and the only prescription is more First Cup with Jeremy. You guys are too funny. Yeah, was out with a friend yesterday in Burlington, and we got ice cream, because what says October in Vermont on a 40-degree day better than ice cream? And what's better than that is that enough other people are buying ice cream that one of the local ice cream windows, you don't go inside, windows is still open. Yeah. For those who might be local, the one at the top of the road to Waterfront Park. That one. Was that Burlington Bay? Yeah. That's open year round, actually. Slept well. Could always sleep longer. So, yeah, just looking forward to everything that's going on here. Found out on, I think was it Thursday or Friday? So many of you know that I am a maple creamies. Yes, I had a twist with black raspberry, was it? To those of you not in Vermont, a creamy is soft serve ice cream. We call it something different for some reason. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. It's just what we do. And nobody agrees on how to spell it. Some of you know that I have had the good fortune to train with and earn rank under Bill Wallace, aka Superfoot. And we typically get together as a group, you know, the Superfoot schools and black belts, at least once a year, often 2 to 3 times a year, and well, we haven't this year. So our getting together this year will be virtually, but I will be connecting with at least one friend to do those trainings together, because I miss everybody. So Any other developments? I saw a draft of a book come through from somebody over the weekend. That'll be a fun one. I'm hoping to have that book ready to go in the next month. I'm hoping to have that ready for Christmas. So, have a call later today with somebody about the magazine. That has kind of... We lost momentum on that. We were working hard on that in like April, and just it's faded away. So we got a call going just to get the momentum going again. It's a lot of work. What else? What else is going on? It's Monday, so there should be a show. Who did I talk to? Who's out today? Let's find out. New shows every Monday and Thursday on Martial Arts Radio. That's my late night radio voice. Episode 548 with Professor Zelaya Anderson. That was a really, really nice one. I think you're going to like this one. She told an amazing story. And I won't spoil it. What's going on with Whistlekick Land? I don't know. I think that's about it. Just got stuff plugging along. Had a new Patreon person sign up last week. I gotta do the Patreon audio episode. I think I'll do that today. I should be able to do that today. This week had a lot saved. A lot of time saved that I won't need all of it. So I should be able to do all my work. We'll see what happens. Anything else to report? It's dark. It's really dark. And it's going to be dark when the show's over. And I don't like it. I don't like that it's dark. It's hard to wake up when it's dark. So, given that I'm out of things to say, let's see what you all had to say. Remember, if you have questions or comments or stories or whatever, stuff you want me to read, drop it in the comment section once the show closes. The more stuff we have from more different people, the better it is. At least for me. Start off with this quote from Stacy. I believe the world is one big family and we need to help each other. Jet Li. Well, first off, yes. Yes. 1,000 times yes. Jet Li is such an interesting person because he's an amazing martial artist and movie action star, and he's been in some really fun stuff. And he got really sick, but looks like he's better. Through it all, pretty religious figure. If I remember correctly, gave away most of his money. But he has always struck me as someone who would be a very kind person. Someone that I would want to hang out with. Maybe less so other action stars. Frank says that was beautiful, Stacy. Thank you. Coffee came out pretty good. Maybe a little weaker than I wanted, but I had to buy more coffee at Costco because I was running out. And we got 4 quotes from Frank. Yesterday, Sunday, October 25th, 2020, was International Artists Day. We've got 4 quotes here from artists. Pardon me. Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once we grow up. Pablo Picasso. The creativity that children have is amazing. And what is more amazing, and not in a good way, is our societal ability to suppress that. How many adults play with Legos? How many adults are going to publicly announce, hey, I put this Lego set together, and it was fun. How many adults have really held on to that childhood, if not innocence, at least curiosity? I think I have. I believe that most successful entrepreneurs have. Most adults are, as we age, we're told to assume that the status quo is what has to be. And entrepreneurs say, well, why not? Why not this? Why not that? Why can't this be better? And all of us are, if not publicly, privately questioned and quite often ridiculed. And it doesn't matter if you get to the point of being a Elon Musk, where you're incredibly rich and successful and changing the world on multiple fronts. People still tear you apart. I don't know why I didn't lose my questioning, my innocence, my creativity, but I'm glad I didn't. When I'm in a good mood, when I've had enough sleep, figuratively, when the planets align, and I'm not stressed or anything, I'm just silly. It's a state that most people would probably say is very childish, but it's a heck of a lot of fun. Adults tend to lose their ability to play, or at least their desire. You ask a kid to play a game. Kid will say, okay, what are we playing? We're going to play dinosaurs. Kid doesn't need a bunch of rules and costumes and everything. Tell him, all right, let's play dinosaurs. As evidenced by the fact that for my birthday last year, I invited a lot of my friends to come to Montpelier and put on inflatable dinosaur costumes and walk around. And some of them did. The ones that were willing to be silly did. And a lot of people didn't. But what struck me, what really made me sad, was the people who said, oh, I'm not going to do that. Why not? You're in a costume. The amount of joy that we brought to people, including ourselves, was amazing. What is better than having fun and bringing joy to other people? I don't think there's anything else. Life is too damn short. Now, play relates very much to martial arts. Shadowboxing is play. Sparring can be play. Ask a kid who's been training a little bit. They know some movements. Okay, we're going to shadowboxing. You tell them what shadowboxing is. You're imagining you're fighting an opponent, a whole bunch of them. And just do all your moves. Okay, and they go and they do it. And sometimes they'll come up with weird stuff. Ask an adult to do it, and you'll see them inevitably throw 3 or 4 movements and then go as they think. Because they're afraid of being wrong or looking foolish. Frank says, we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. Yes. You ever heard that saying, question, how old would you be if you didn't, how old would you think you were if you didn't know how old you were? I think that's pretty indicative. My body feels different. My experiences, my processing of information are certainly different. I don't feel anything close to my age. I feel like I'm in my 20s. which is cool. That's fine by me. So the moral of the story, play. Play can take on many forms. And if nothing else, when you get some time alone, play with your martial arts. It's the verb that I've come to think is most representative of what we do if we are doing it well. If you hear a voice within you say, "You cannot paint," then by all means paint, and that voice will be silenced. Vincent van Gogh. Or if we want to say it in proper, what is it, Dutch? Van Gogh. Somebody says you can't do something, do it. If it's important to you, do it. It's not that you cannot paint. It's that maybe you can't paint well yet. I don't even like the word can't, because there are very few things that we can't do. I can't fly unassisted. At least not for long. Just about everything else, I can figure out a way. If I worked really hard at painting, I could be a decent painter. I don't have the desire to. What about everything else? What about martial arts? What about your training? People say, I'm no good at forms. Well, have you really spent a lot of time working on them? I'm not good at sparring. How much time have you really spent working on your sparring? If you want something badly enough, you'll find a way to make it happen. That's the whistlekick story. Despite all the horrible things that have happened, I keep finding new ways to move us forward. Got, I don't know if that's a title or a first name, Call Mag, saying, "Good morning from the UK. Yesterday I was listening to your podcast about playing martial arts." Hey, awesome. What's the word I'm looking for? Not synergy. Oh, that's appropriate. Frank says, the same could be said of martial arts. People think they will look silly. They do. A lot of people don't train because they think they're going to look silly. And I don't say, no, you won't. I say, so what? So does everybody else. When you start doing martial arts, who are the only people judging you? The people not there. Every single person training started training. And there are very, very rare instances that I've ever seen where people within a martial arts school will negatively judge someone who is just starting to train. It's so rare. Just do it. Just train, just enjoy, just have fun. Do something new. Give it a whirl. It's the worst that's going to happen. You come away with new experiences and understanding. And here's a great one for this conversation. Frank, this is great today. We don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents. And some of you probably know who that is. Someone who has become incredibly popular in pop culture despite having passed away, and that's Bob Ross. How much of what we have in the world today is the result of an accident, a happy little accident, as Bob Ross would put it? Have you ever messed up in training or messed up in life and said, oh, this actually worked out better? It happens. As human beings, we learn by making mistakes. We don't learn by getting things right. If we did, if we actually learned correctly by just being given information, school would just be us sitting there and people giving us the answers. It would just be stuffing us full of facts, but that doesn't work. We have to screw it up. In martial arts, we typically are taught things and then given the opportunity to train them, to practice them. The instruction is showing, here's what you're going for. And then when we do it ourselves, it's, this is way harder than it looked. But you start to figure out what not to do. Because that's all life is figuring out what not to do. And what should you not do? You should not stop training. You should not avoid martial arts. You should find a way. You should not lose your grasp on being a child. Generally speaking, what are human beings' favorite animals? Dogs. Dogs play until they die. The happiest animals on earth. Stacy says, that's part of the reason UVM Medical School has pushed to move from lecture to active learning. Completely agree. Those of you watching, hit the thumbs up. That helps other people see it. I am a big fan of experimentation and trial and error and seeing, hey, what can we do? What's going to work here? Here's a drill for you, for those of you that are instructors and have some say. Pull two people out of the class. And one person, I'm coming up with this on the spot. Maybe I didn't invent it, but I'm coming up with it right now. Thank you to those of you hitting the thumbs up. That really does make a big difference for those of you that don't know. So you've got one person, the attacker, one the defender. Okay, so the attacker comes through some standard street technique, big swinging punch kind of a thing. The defender, so let's say the attacker kind of freezes at the moment just before impact, and they hold there. And then let the class decide, how do you defend? Let them vote. And then how do they react? What's the counter? And then go back and forth with that. And here's what's going to happen. They're going to argue about it. And part of you as the instructor might feel frustrated about that. Let them. That's the point of the exercise. It's not the actual movements. It's the discussion that they're going to have. Because if they can argue for their position, they have a much better understanding of why things should be done. And even the people not arguing, maybe the newer students, they're going to learn a ton. So give that a whirl. Arguing back and forth. See, if we had seminars to teach, if I was going out into the world, that would be a great one to work with people. Call says, one of the drills we have in our syllabus for the senior guys is that you have to come up with as many defenses or counters as you can against the same technique. Yeah. I think it's important to do that because it shows understanding of the nuance of those techniques. How many ways do I want to defend a technique? As many as I need. How many am I going to have? A few. I'm not going to have hundreds, but to keep coming up with new ones and unpack them and practice them, it's valuable. And our final quote of the day, it is not so much where my motivation comes from, but rather how it manages to survive. Louise Bourgeois. It is not so much where my motivation comes from, but rather how it manages to survive. There are a ton of artistic quotes that we could have chosen, that Frank could have picked, and I think he picked a great set, so thank you, Frank. But much of what we think about with creativity, with art, we tend to go to painting and sculpture and other tangible productions of art. Martial arts is art. It requires creativity. It requires an investment of yourself, of your soul. Nobody wants to watch someone spar indifferently. No one wants to watch someone do forms at a competition when their heart's not in it. I once went to a concert in the opening band. I was standing right next to the bassist. He was up on stage maybe 3 to 4 feet from me. And he didn't want to be there. I could tell from his face. His playing was fine, but he's looking around at the ceiling. He wasn't into it. And it made the entire set boring, probably for everyone, because you can pick up on that stuff. So when you have the opportunity to do something, don't just do it well and do it on time. but try to have fun with it. If you've got to do something anyway, find a way to have fun with it. What's a good example? Here's a great example. Here's one that we all probably do. Driving. Driving could be really boring. Get in the car, you go from A to B, you drive the speed limit, and you drive safely, and you just do it. But how do most of us drive? We have the radio on, or we have podcast, or we have music, an audiobook. Some of us drive fast. Some of us, I don't know. Those are probably the extent of the options. We find ways to make it entertaining. That's human nature. Don't be afraid of that tendency to find happiness or joy or whatever in the other things that you do. So as you go through your day, be fun, have fun, be joyful, be the kind of person that you want to be around. We've got a few comments coming in. What comes from the heart goes to the heart, says Frank. Yes. Stacy says, driving is where my inner diva belts her stuff. I am an amazing singer in the car. You wouldn't even believe. Call says, not being interested. I've seen this with training partners who are training lower level stuff. When they don't see what they can learn from helping the lower levels, and it's horrible for the partner. Yeah. You can still have fun. Make faces. Shout in an accent. Or just work really hard to make it the best it can be. Lions don't get bored stalking their prey. They continue to get better and better until they die. That's why old animals are able to survive. They're not as strong, they're not as fast as they were, but they're smarter. They've honed their skills over their lifetime. What if you stop trying to hone your skills? What happens when the strength and the speed fade? You die. Think about that. All right, so go check out today's episode with Zelaya Anderson, Professor Zelaya Anderson on Martial Arts Radio. It's here on YouTube. You can find it elsewhere too. It's in your podcast feed. If you've got questions or comments for the show, leave them here in the comment section of First Cup after the show closes. Remember, we do this show every weekday, 6:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time here on YouTube. So subscribe, turn on notifications. If you're watching later, hit that thumbs up. Let's see how many thumbs up we can get. We usually get like 2. Right now we get 5. So thank you to everyone who put those up there. And if you want to support us, you can join the Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick, or you can go to whistlekick.com and make a purchase. So, thanks to everyone who does either of those things or supports us in some other way. I appreciate you. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you find something joyful. I hope you play. Do something to make yourself and others smile. And I will see you back here tomorrow. Peace.